logics in proof. Okay, so the first point is argument. Okay, so what is argument? Like some propositions are given to us. Okay, some set of propositions are given to us, like P1 proposition is given, P2 proposition is given, P3 up to Pn. Okay, some set of propositions are given to us. Whatever the propositions given to us are called premises. Okay, the given set of or any single prepositions are given to us is called premises, or we can call hypothesis also. Okay, what is given to us, and whatever the conclusion we can draw from it. Okay, so after giving true, false and whatever, at the end we can get some conclusion. Okay, at the end, like we are getting C is the conclusion from the above premises, and then conclusion is called argument. Okay, then we need to prove that our argument is true or false. Okay, in this article or in this topic we need to prove that the given argument is valid or not. Okay, so in this topic some set of proposition is given to us, argument is given to us, and we need to prove that the given argument is valid or not. So what is given here? An argument is said to be logically valid argument. An argument is said to be logically valid argument if and only if the conjunction of the premises, means all the premises whatever given to us, if the conjunction of all the premises implies the conclusion, that is, if the premises are all true, then the conclusion must also be true. So like if all the premises are given to us is true, then conclusion must be true. We have to prove this, that the given given argument is a valid argument. We need to prove this. Okay, so there are some rules to prove it. Okay, now like this. So what is given in the first line, you can check P1 conjunction P2 conjunction P3 up to Pn implies C. If C is true, then it is called tautology. Okay, if C is true, then it is called tautology. Okay, so there is some procedure for testing the validity of an argument. Look it carefully. So what is the procedure for testing the validity? It is somehow difficult topic. Not difficult means maybe you are not getting in the first time. If it is not, then I will repeat it, but listen carefully. Okay, it is a total theoretical and logically based. So what is the procedure? Identically the premises and conclusion of the argument. Identify means some paragraph is given to you. Okay, some paragraph is given to you, then you need to identify what is the premises and what is the conclusion of the argument. Like some propositions are given to you, you have to find that it is a given proposition and something is the conclusion from the given premises. Okay, it is given always in the paragraph and whatever the given to you. Now construct the truth table. Okay, so there are two methods. Either you can construct the truth table or either you can use the theory. Okay, so already you know how to construct the truth table, so I will give you some theoretical part here. Now find the rows means you have to convert or arrange in such a manner all the premises, then true is going on. Means some 5 sentences are given to you. You can arrange by yourself, then after one, then second, then two in a chronicle order. Means from first point you are getting second, from second you are getting third, you are getting fourth, then fifth, like this. You have to arrange by yourself. Okay, and then at the end, you will get the true. Okay, so this is called the method. And what is inference? The rule of inference. Okay, the rule of inference are criteria for determining the validity of an argument. Like, means you need to follow some rules to prove that your argument is valid. Okay, so I no need to read it. Okay, these are some properties. First I will give you how the questions are given to you. Now first see this, I am giving one question, means how the questions are given to you, what you have to do. Then after explaining the question, then I will explain you the property. Okay, because you know where the properties are applicable. Okay, so first read the question only, then I will tell you how the properties are applied, because there are too many properties. Okay, so what is given in the example, only try to understand the law, means topic. I am not going to explain the question, means answer here. Only you need to understand the topic. So prove the validity of the following statement. Such type of questions are given to you. Prove the validity of the following argument. Okay. Now, what is the question? What is the statement or argument? If I get the job and work hard, then I will be promoted. If I get promoted, then I will be happy. I will not be happy. Therefore, either I will not get the job or I will not work hard. Okay. So, what is the rule? First you find the premises and conclusion. Okay. So, what is the conclusion and what is premises? You need to find by yourself first. So obviously, therefore is written. So therefore means after therefore, this is the conclusion. Therefore, either I will not get the job or I will not work hard. Okay. So what is given? If I get the job. Now try to suppose these statement into variables. So if I get the job, we are taking as P. Work hard, I work hard, we are taking Q. Then I will be promoted, we are taking R. And I will be happy, we are taking S. So there are 4 different statements are given in the question. Okay. So this is given. Now using these variables, try to convert the given paragraph into mathematical symbols. Now read it again. What is given? If I get the job means P, and work hard, and Q means conjunction Q. So what is given? P conjunction Q. Then I will be promoted means imply conditional R. R is I get promoted. So we are converting the above paragraph into mathematical variables using connectives. If I get promoted means R, then I will be happy. Then R conditional S. And what is last? I will not be happy means negation S. So negation S. So these are given. So it is called premises. And what is the conclusion? Therefore, either I will not get the job or I will not work hard means negation. In the 6th point you can check negation P or negation Q. So this is the conclusion. So by using the premises, we need to prove the conclusion is true. So there is some criteria. By using some rules, we can reach from the premises up to the conclusion. Okay. So that criteria I am going to explain. So that type of question is given to you, and you will use some criteria, means formulas. Then we can go to the reach up to the conclusion. So such types of questions are given to you. Okay. Now, what are the properties? Look carefully. Okay. If anyone is not getting or all are not getting, I will repeat the topic again, but this is the most important topic. Okay. So there are some properties here. Okay. Look on the screen. So there are some properties. So first I will discuss the properties, then I can explain the same question again by using the property, because I only explained the question, but you need to understand the solution and the way of solution. So rule of inference is given. Rule of inference means you need to use these rules. Their tautological forms are given, means either you can write in this form or either you can write in this form. And what is the name of the property? Addition. Okay, so I am going to explain you the property one by one. Okay, so there are some properties. Now look on the screen. Okay, so this one. So first property is addition. So first property is addition. So first try to understand how to read it. So P is written there and straight line, and therefore P or Q. So this type of properties are written in the book. Then how can you read? First P is written, that means P is given. Okay, P is given, so that means it is a premises, and always the premises whatever is given we are taking it is true. Whatever the premises are given, we have to always take true. Then with the help of premises, we are getting P or Q is true. Try to understand. P is given and we are always take P is true. Then we need to prove, or then we will get P or Q is true. So it is a conclusion and it is given. This is not the divide sign. Okay, this is not numerator and denominator, just P is given, therefore P or Q is true. So how can we read? If P is true, then P or Q is true, or we can say Q is true, then P or Q is true. So this is the reading method. Now how to get it? Now look at the here. Okay, look at here. This is the explanation. P is given. Premises means given. We need to always suppose premises is always true. Given, whatever given to us, it is always true. Okay. Now, if P is true, then P disjunction Q is true. How? Because we know that in the disjunction property, if anyone is true, either P is true or Q is true, then P or Q is true. So already we have P is true. Okay, so already we have here P is true, then P or Q is true. Okay, so this is how we can use. Like here in the question, if one statement is given to us that is true, then with the help of we can prove P or Q is true. Either Q is false. Okay, we don't take care of about Q. If P is true, then definitely P or Q is true. So this is again the explanation. Because If any value is true in disjunction, then P or Q is true. So that means if P is true or either Q is true, then P or Q is true. This is the explanation. Okay. So same here. If Q is given to you, Q is given and always the given part is true, then P disjunction Q is true. Okay. And how can we read this property also? P implies P or Q. We can also read like this. Okay. Already these types of forms are written in the table already. Okay. So this is the first property and this property is called addition. Now this is the second property, simplification. Okay, this property is called simplification. What is the meaning of it? Like P and Q is given. Okay, P and Q is given. Then P is true. Okay, or P and Q, always whatever it is true. So now look here. So what is given? P and Q is true. So what do we get? If P and Q is true, then definitely P is true. Because in conjunction, either if both are true, then definitely P is true. If what is given, P and Q is true, that means both are true. Because in conjunction, what is the rule? If both values are true, then their end is true. So already written here, true and true implies true. Okay. If P and Q is true, then definitely means P is true and Q is also true. So the same property like this. P and Q is true, then Q is also true. Okay. If in conjunction, if result is true, then definitely both values are true. Now, third property is conjunction. These properties already given in the table, but explanation is not given, and explanation mostly in the book is also not available. So what is that third property? Conjunction. So what is P given, Q given, then their conjunction is true. So now look at here. P is true, Q is true. Means because these are given premises, always the given values we have to suppose it is true. Okay, so P is true and Q is true. Then what we can get? P and Q is true. And always whatever the properties, whatever the premises are given to you, you need to take the conjunction always. Like here. Okay, like here I will show you this one. This is the most important property. Look carefully. Wait. Okay. So this property is called modus ponens. Okay. Modus ponens. This is a new property already. What I told you, that already you know in the truth table. So this property is modus ponens. Okay. Sorry. I will this one. Okay. So modus ponens. What is this property? What is given? P conditional Q is given and P is given. From these two, the conclusion given is Q. It is given. Okay. Or we can say from P conditional Q and P. If both are true, then Q is true. We can also write this property modus ponens in this form. P implies Q and P. Okay. We can take the always conjunction P conditional Q and P implies Q. This is called tautological form because always it is true. Now explanation. Okay. So P conditional Q is given and P is given. Whatever the given part, it is always true. So P is true. P implies Q is true. Now Listen carefully. If P is true and P conditional Q is true, so when conditional is given true, if true, conditional true always gives you true. So definitely Q is true. So definitely Q is true because when it is false, at what condition? P conditional Q is false. Either both are false or either Q is false. But here P is true and P conditional is also true. So definitely Q will be true. So hence conclusion is true. Okay. So in modest ponens, what is the property? How can you use it? If P conditional Q is given and P is given. So directly you can put together and write the answer Q. Okay, you can use like that. No,
So can you
yeah, tell
scroll
me.
up? Can you scroll up?
Yeah. Any doubt? So what is the modest ponens? P conditional Q is given and P is given. So what is their conclusion? Q. So this is the conclusion and both the given premises are true. So then definitely Q is true. Okay. So how can you write these properties? So P conditional Q and P, because we need to take the conjunction of all and at the end whatever we are getting the argument that is true because argument is Q and that is true. So what is the proof? Here P conditional Q and P. So this is given, both are true. Okay. Now if P is true, then write true here. Okay. And answer is true. So then definitely Q must be true. So we are getting Q true. Okay. So this is the proof. Then Q is true. Here it is written. Now look this property also. Modest tolerance. Okay. This property is called modest tolerance. So what is given here? P conditional Q is given and negation Q is given. Okay. Then the argument or conclusion is negation P is true. You can write this also in this form. P conditional Q and negation Q implies negation P. This form is called tautological form because P is true. Negation P, sorry. So what is the proof? Look carefully. What is the proof of this? So already I write here 1, 2, 3, 4. How I am getting? First you can look here. So negation Q is given. P implies Q is given. Both are true because it is a given part. And negation P already we are getting true. How we are getting? Try to understand. Negation Q is true. Okay. So negation Q is true. So that means Q is false. If negation Q is true, then Q is false. So I am writing here. Look at the blue. Negation Q is true. I am writing it is first. And given part I am writing 1 and 2. I am just giving the name. 1, 2. Okay, now look. If negation Q is true, it is 1. Then definitely then Q is false. 3. I am just giving their names like 3. And what is the answer? The answer is true. So definitely P must be false because false conditional false gives you true. And we already know that negation Q is true, then definitely Q is false. And answer is true. So definitely P must be false. If P is false, then what about negation P? It is true. Okay. So this is, you need to understand how we are taking the values. Okay, so it is always given. Premises is given values are true, and conclusion is true. Then I am giving you the values, how to choose true and false. So what type of questions are given to you? P is false is given to you. Conditional Q also false is given to you. But total is true. If negation Q is given true, then you can combine this property and you will get the answer negation P. Okay. So this is modest tolerance property. Keep it in mind. I will discuss the question then after telling you this property. Okay. And first I am telling this property, then I will explain you the question again. Okay. So, okay, this is somehow not clear. It is hypothetical syllogism. What is the name of this property? Hypothetical syllogism. Okay. So what is the property? P conditional Q is given, Q conditional R is given. P to Q and Q to R. Then what is the solution? P to R is the conclusion. Okay, it is obvious. If P to Q is true and Q to R is true, then definitely P to R is true. How it is possible? If either all PQ are true, or you can take all are false. In both conditions, if all PQ are true, or we can say or PQ are true values, then definitely P conditional R is true. Now put in mind, P implies Q, Q implies R, you will get PR, P to R. Okay. So first write 2-3 properties on page, then I will explain you the question again. Okay. Sorry, wait. Okay. So you can write what are the properties are required. Hypothetical modest tolerance. Okay. So you can write hypothetical syllogism property in page, because you need to understand the question. So what is the property? P implies Q, Q implies R, you will get P implies R. Okay. This is the result. If these two statements are given, then directly we can write P implies R. So this is hypothetical syllogism. And what is modest tolerance? P conditional Q and negation Q is given. If these two statements are given, we can directly write negation P. Okay, so it is better you can write first these two properties on page, then I'll explain you the question again. Okay, so otherwise keep in mind P implies Q and negation Q, then answer is negation P. Already proof I have given how to prove the property, and how to use the property I am giving you the example. Okay, now look at the question again. Okay, now already I explained you the question and their symbols. Okay, so I will read the question again. What is the question? If I get the job and work hard, then I will get promoted. Now full stop. So we already converted in the mathematical symbols. P and Q implies R. Then again start the sentence. If I get promoted, then I will be happy. So I will get promoted means R. R conditional Q. R conditional S is given. I will not be happy. This is the next sentence. So write in the next point. Negation S. Therefore, either I will not get the job or I will not work hard. Therefore, either I will not get the job. So this is the conclusion. You can write this somehow in the left hand side to remind, because at the end you need to prove it by using these two statements. Okay. So these three premises are given to you and you need to get these premises are true. Okay. and from using these premises and the rules what I explained you, by that rule and these premises you can reach up to that point. Therefore either I will not get the job or I will not work hard. Okay, now so what is first point? Copied. P and Q implies R. R implies S. Okay. So now look at the property P and Q. You can think it is a one quantity. Like I am taking, it is T. T conditional R, R conditional S. Then I can write T conditional S. Okay. This third point by using hypothetical syllogism using 1 and 2. So how can I write? First point I write copied same. So it is called premise, means given. Second, R conditional as premise because it is given here. Now after writing these two, thought always some properties are given to you. So P and Q implies R, R to S. Then directly you can write P and Q implies S by using hypothetical syllogism. That's why I told you to write the property in the copy. P conditional Q, Q conditional R, then you will get P and R, P conditional R. Okay. So hypothetical syllogism using 1 and 2. So now we write this. This is hypothetical. This is the conclusion from above two propositions. Okay. So now we have wrote this and now wrote negation S is given to you. So write negation S also here. So again think from the property. Any property is like you can use here any property P and Q, conditional S and negation S, where these properties are applicable, means where such type of things are written because it is S and it is negation S. Now look at the property again. What is modest tolerance? Look, P conditional Q and negation Q. Okay, if these types of things are given, then directly you can write negation P. Okay, P conditional Q and negation Q, then directly you can write negation P. This property is called modest tolerance. So same here, P and Q conditional S and negation S. So what is the answer? Negation P and Q. So what the property name? Modest tolerance using 3 and 4. In 3 and 4 we are using the property modest tolerance and this is the conclusion what we get. Now open the bracket. It will become negation P or negation S. Okay. And what is the argument is given in the question? Therefore, either I will not get the job means negation P or negation Q. So we are getting the same here from the proved whatever we done. So hence the argument is valid. So such types of questions are given to you. You first need to find what is premises, what is conclusion. Then suppose the same thing in PQRS means in the variable form. Then write, convert the question in the logical form, then prove. Okay. So first, if anyone is having doubt, they can ask. Okay. Because I know this is somehow a typical thing to understand in one lecture. If you are not getting, then don't take tension. I will repeat the same topic again. But it is important to understand this. Anyone? Because in the next, I will give you question you need to solve. Okay. Then before that, you can write at least 2-3 properties from the table. Okay. Means directly you can write this property and name addition. Then this property simplification. This property conjunction. Or either you can write this format. Okay. So up to the disjunction syllogism, the properties are important. Last two properties are also somehow important, but mostly up to disjunction syllogism we can use in the question, mostly 99%. So you can write the property. Okay, I will share the notes and PDF also, and typed PDF also. I already typed the total thing with a computer and will forward you. So if anyone is having doubt, they can ask, then we can go to the next question. And if you are not getting anything, then you can also say, I can repeat the same topic in the next class also. Because I know it will take some time to understand and to implement the rules of inference. Okay. So copy up to the disjunction means direct you can write addition, write this. Simplification, then write this. And first part is given and therefore it is conclusion.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
So can you just explain first and second rule? Addition and
Second.
simplification.
Okay. Wait. Here is a proof. Now listen carefully. So addition. Addition means by adding what you will get. So that's why they given the name addition. So now look on the cursor. So P is written. That means only P is given to you. Only P is given to you. That is called premises. And whatever the premises, it is always true. Okay. If P is true, then P or Q is always true. Because think about if P is true or whatever Q, either Q is false or either Q is true, it doesn't mean if P any value is true, then P or Q is true. So conclusion is true. If P is true, then P or Q is true. Already I written here because if any value is true in disjunction means either P is true or either Q is true, then P or Q is true. So already we have P is true written here. P is true, then P or Q is true. Same for Q. If Q is true, then P or Q is true. Already it is written here. Okay, if Q is true, then P or Q is true. And you can also write like this is a tautological form given in the table. Second, simplification. So what is simplification? P and Q is given to you and always the given is premises is true, then you find P is true. So what is the proof here? Now look at here. P and Q is true. It is given. Then if it is true, then definitely what is the rule for conjunction? The result is true. Then definitely P is true and Q is true. Because in the conjunction, what happen? If both values are true, then it is true, otherwise false. If any value is false, means if P is false, then conjunction never be true. Because if any value is false in conjunction, then result is not true. But already it is a premises means it is true. So then definitely P is true and Q is true. So therefore P is true. Already I written here T and T means if both are true, then definitely it is true. So P and Q implies P or Q. Both are true.
So,
Yeah, tell me.
so I had a doubt.
Hello?
Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yeah, now tell me.
I was
Now you're up to, I'm not able to hear you. What are you speaking? Because your voice is not coming here. Hello? What's your name? Let me check because I'm not getting anything. Pardon, because your voice is not coming here, or if there is some network problem, then you can, if it is long, short query, you can type. Okay, I'm not getting your voice. So if you have a critical doubt, you can call me also, and you can type. I will explain it. Okay, okay. So already these properties are explained. Okay, disjunction syllogism. Okay,
Excuse me, sir, can you hear me?
tell me. What's your name?
My name is Mahadevan. I'm asking the same doubt, sir, what you have wanted.
Okay.
He's like, our premise is supposed to be true
In which property?
in all the properties.
In all the properties. Okay, like conjunction is written to you. So you are. So now tell me.
We are assuming all the premises are true, no, sir?
Because or whatever the given, we need to suppose it is true, and we have to prove conclusion is true. It is a rule. We need to suppose premise is true. Then with the help means something is given to you. Our duty is to prove conclusion is true. That's why we have to prove take premises are true. We only need to prove the conclusion is valid. Yeah, tell
So
me.
what if the premises is false?
No, you can't take the premises false because premises is given to you. And whatever the sentence is given, that means it is given to you. Given means false, true. Only in all the question, you need to prove the argument is valid or not. Okay. Only you need to prove argument is valid or not. So how to prove the argument is valid? We need to use rules of inference. And in rules of inference, we will take the premises are true. If you are taking the premises is wrong, then definitely you can't prove.
Yes, sir.
That's
Understood.
why it is called hypothesis. It is hypothesis. Hypothesis means already we are using or we are taking it is true. Like what happened in physics, in mathematics, too many theorems are proved. Already some things is not happened or not available in the world, but we are assuming it is true. Means it is happened, it is available. That is called hypothesis. Because like if you are thinking like dimensions, n dimensions, infinite dimension, that are not available now, but it is a hypothesis. Okay. You can't take the tension about true and false, but you need to remind only about the inferences. Okay. So this is also one property. I forget to explain this. Disjunction syllogism. Okay. Listen it also. What will give you P or Q and negation P. So as a result of combining these two, we will get Q. This is conclusion. So how can we prove? This is the proof. So negation P is given. We are taking true. P or Q, it is true. So I am writing 1 and 2 to give you the better explanation. So first thing, negation P. We are taking it is true. 1. P or Q, true. Whatever. So means it is given. So it is 2. Now negation P is true. So what will happen if negation P is true? Then P is false. So P is false. Third, and P or Q is true. So definitely Q is true. So what you get? Q is true. I am proving it. Okay. So right here they are writing direct conclusion. So how can we get the conclusion like this? By assuming some values. If negation P is true, then P is false and total result is true. So definitely Q must be true. So I am proving by taking it as true or false. So already this example is completed. Now read this. This is for you. I will make it some large. Now, so what is the question is given to you? Students, don't take tension if you are not getting. I will repeat the same topic again. Okay, you can message me personally or in the group. I will repeat it again because I know it is somehow a time taking topic. So what is given? Show that T is a valid conclusion. Okay. So what means? What does it means? At the end you will get T. If you are getting T at the end by using the right properties, then T is a valid conclusion. What is given to you? P conditional Q, Q conditional R conditional S, negation S, and P or T. These are premises. And you, like here, sentences are not given to you. Only mathematical propositions are given to you with using connectives and variables. So you can arrange by yourself and at the end you will get T. If this, then your means rules and conclusion is valid. Now try to read it. I will explain all the questions and give you some better example also, because first thing, how you can understand or how can you remind the properties. So what is given to you? P implies Q, P conditional Q is given, Q conditional R is given, and R conditional S is given. So already here it is written premise, given, that means given. Now using 1 and 2, hypothetical syllogism, P implies Q, Q implies R, then you will get P implies R, okay, by hypothetical syllogism, this property. Now what is the fifth point? P implies S. I am reading the proof. 3 and 4, okay. What is 3? R implies S and P implies R using 3 and 4. P to R and R to S. First read the fourth point. Fourth point is P to R and third point is R to S. Then what you get? P to S. So this is P to S, hypothetical syllogism. Now P to S is we reached, copy negation S. It is your understanding what premises now you have to use. Okay, P conditional S and negation S. So now again, which property? Modest tollens. By modest tollens you get negation P. So now again you can copy P or T. Okay. So negation P and P or T. So which property is disjunctive syllogism? Then you will get T. Okay, this property, last property, P or Q, negation P, then you will get Q. Okay, P or Q, negation P, you will get Q. Okay, how to learn? Negation P is given, so you can write opposite of it. So same here, negation P, P or T, then you can write T here. Keep remind all the property, read it once. Today I will send you the typed PDF of this also. Okay, typed means by computer I have already prepared. this page is mistaken, and this is also one question. Okay, so first today what you will do, you read this PDF again and again. Tomorrow, first, if you have any doubt or anything not getting from this PDF, you can discuss first this, then we can go to the next questions. Okay, so tomorrow what you will do, first we will discuss. If you have any doubt, you can message or ask to me. If you have any doubt, we can first clear the doubt, because if you are having doubt, then you are not able to understand the next questions and topic. So first we can clear sorry, your doubts. Okay, now read this example. I am downloading your attendance sheet. Students, don't be in hurry, we have enough time. So if you are not getting this topic or any property, okay, then you can message, or if you want, either I will create the personal group for your section for discrete mathematics. I will do that also. Like what happens in the same group, other faculties are also there. Maybe some students are getting me feeling not comfortable to ask in the group. So if you have any doubt, or if you want, I will create your separate discrete mathematics group with your section. Okay, so read this example. This is very easy. So what is given? Either Ram is not guilty or Sham is telling the truth. This is the first sentence. Second, Sham is not telling the truth. This is second sentence. And what is the conclusion? Ram is not guilty. Okay, so what you have to prove? You have to prove Ram is not guilty is a valid argument. So first you can suppose so first you need to suppose it is in variable form. So we are taking P, Ram is not guilty, Q, Sham is telling the truth, and what is given? Either Ram is not guilty or Sham is telling the truth. So P or Q. Second, Sham is not telling the truth, negation Q. So which property we will use? Because what is the conclusion? Ram is not guilty. So P. So by using disjunctive syllogism, we are getting P. Okay, you need to prove in mathematical variables and using connectives. At the last, we will use the inference rules. Then we will get the answer P. Ram is not guilty, and which is the valid argument. Okay. So some English theory is given to you. Some rule is also there. You can prove it by mathematically. So this is the understanding of this topic. Convert in the mathematical forms, then prove. Okay. So I will forward you this PDF. Okay. After the class.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Before leaving, can you explain constructive and destructive dilemma?
Okay. Construct which property? Okay, I will tell you.
The last two properties.
Okay. I will not explain the last two property today, because what will happen? First I will give you the example on based of this, then I will explain you the property. Okay,
Okay, sir. Then okay.
what I do, tomorrow I will explain the same property, that constructive and destructive, because in this note I didn't write the proof of that and it is difficult to understand by taking. So in the next class I will cover these two topics, sorry, property also and example also on this. Okay, I will give you the example also on this for the last two properties. Okay, tomorrow
Yes,
I will
sir, yes.
discuss. So first try to read this PDF 2-3 times, okay, and then read the book also. Okay, thank you students, try to read it. Okay, I didn't ask anyone to question to anyone student, because today is a theoretical class. Tomorrow I will give you some questions, clear your doubts, and I will explain the last two properties and I will ask the question by the name. So read it by today. Okay, so now student take rest. I am going to end this video. Thank you.